Imagine this. It's around 2008 and you really like playing your Wii. You got a few cool games, sure, but you want to play something new. Luckily, your dad or mom or whoever got you this stupid little gift card that gives you 1,000 Wii points. You got a lot of options like Pokemon Snap or Bomberman, but for some reason, one game catches your eye. Super Mario 64. I mean, obviously it does. It's Mario, but you're flat broke now. You enjoy 64, sure, but it's just one game. It's gonna end eventually. So you look for more games to play. Maybe something to keep in mind if you get more points. While looking through the fascinating games the Wiiware holds, you see a demo for this game called... But we'll get to that later, because we have to talk about the original Flash game. It was made by Extra Toxic and Tons of Bits, and was made for Easter. It was actually sponsored by Nintendo of Europe. The game is simple. There's two sides, the yellow team, which is you, and the black team. You'll have 10 moves, 5 of them being offensive, and the other 5 being defensive. To do these moves, you'll have to draw them. The more accurate you are to the outline, its effectiveness increases, such as the anvil becoming bigger or a lightning rod taking on the electricity. You want to draw your offensive options to kill the black chicks while drawing defensive options to keep your chicks alive. There's more mechanics such as the sprinkler or the hard hat, but that's basically the game dumbed down. If that explanation bored you in any way, let me try again for that sweet, succulent retention.
Chick Chick Boom's story starts when Nintendo of Europe sponsors them on Easter 2007. Nobody was confined to their houses and HP announced the pavilion. But how does this connect with Chick Chick Boom? Because at this time, Tons of Bits has the biggest advantage to work day and night on a Flash game. Nobody wants to play until everyone stopped being a lazy ass. So Tons of Bits also realized they have the biggest advantage to boost. But what changes they applied in their game was basically fucking nothing. There was no advertising.
My first experience with Chick Chick Boom in any capacity is the 2010 version, which I'll talk about soon. So this was all new to me. In the first level, your only offensive options is the bomb and the anvil, and I'm sure you can guess what they do. The defensive options you have are arrows. Drawing them accurately enough will make most of your chicks move to the corresponding position. Also, you're obviously fighting AI, and they're very stupid, at least for the first few levels. They barely use their defensive options. Do you remember when I said this game was sponsored by Nintendo? Yeah, every time you complete a level, you get a wallpaper for some random Nintendo game. For the first level, it's Mario Basketball. And me? I like Mario. So obviously I made it my wallpaper. You know? It's a nice background and all. But I mean the difference is night and day, you know? Second level adds lightning and a lightning rod. Lightning can hit the whole team, but the rod can block it. I think now is a good time to pull up a tier list because I want to understand me when you're sad, feeble mind if the guy on YouTube didn't make a tier list. Bomb is honestly a B in this game. At the start, it's got a pretty high chance of hitting, and if you don't draw an arrow accurate enough, it'll most likely hit someone, especially because you don't know how far it'll bounce. But the less chicks, the harder it is to hit. It's basically impossible to hit when there's one chick left. Anvil is like the bomb, but its downsides are more obvious. Better at the start, worse the less there are, but significantly easier to dodge. I think it's a D. It is easier to draw though. And in this game, you can attack as much as you please. So when you're spamming items, it's alright. Now lightning, I'd say, is really close to an S. There's a rain cloud that forms and it can either spawn on your side or the enemy's side. After going across the whole screen, it will disappear. Sometimes the AI is fair and kind of intervals between spawning on each side, or it can cheat for real. Cause I clearly angered some god, like the lightning is really easy to draw, so if you're fast enough, you can make it strike on their side twice. It's very hard to defend when there's other hazards on your side. Only reason it isn't an S is because it sometimes comes down to luck, and the rain cloud can defuse the bomb and stop another attack I'll talk about soon. Next moves are a mushroom and medicine. If they step on the mushroom, they get poisoned, and the medicine, of course, stops the poison. I'd give the poison an A. Using it at the start isn't bad, but it's the easiest to land, making it a great finisher. It just doesn't do too much damage, so if the chick is at full health, it'll take a while. Nothing interesting about this level, but the wallpaper you get is a manual for Wii channels, I think, because it's not like I could read it. But I did try looking it up. Didn't find it, but I saw this Chicago Bulls Wii. Pretty cool. The final two are ones I can confidently say are S tier. The balloon and the sandbag. The balloon captures the chick, and if it reaches the top, they instantly die. It doesn't matter how much health they have. The more accurate you draw this one, the faster they rise, which makes it really hard to stop while other things are swarming your side. And I'm pretty sure the AI becomes IQ deficient, but only sometimes, because there would be a case where you use the balloon and they shut it down instantly, or it watches its children just go to heaven. And I think it doesn't attack when this happens, so you get a free chance to bully it. I haven't been rating the defensive abilities because obviously they're S tier, they full counter the respective hazard except maybe the arrows. It's the same for this case, but you have to draw the sandbag twice to stop the balloon. And you remember when I said the rain cloud stops 2 abilities? Of course you didn't. I don't know how you forgot. It wasn't even that long ago. The lightning can pop the balloon, which isn't even that bad because if the captured chick is low enough, the lightning will kill him anyways. This move is honestly not fair. Also, I'm not sure what causes this, but sometimes there'll be a 2x next to the move, and drawing it will spawn 2 of them. That is obviously quite good, but again, I don't know if it's a chance thing or not. But after being that level, you unlock the pro mode, where you fight a bunch of chicks until you die. It basically beat the game. For how basic the premise is, I find it really interesting how weirdly in-depth the gameplay is. The start of the game can really change the tempo almost instantly. Getting a good hit can put you in a great advantage state off rip, almost letting you snowball just from the first turn. But sometimes that may not happen and you could be the one in disadvantage. Making the weaker abilities harder to counter with arrows that aren't entirely reliable, and giving the stronger abilities their own counters gives you a chance to pull off some interesting combos, like spawning a bomb and then placing mushrooms at their feet, making you decide to either stop the poison and have someone be blown up, or move everyone to the side to avoid the bomb and guarantee someone gets poisoned. But of course, how successful this is depends on how fast you can draw. If you can draw the bomb and the mushroom fast enough, you can stop both of them consecutively. If you try to defend against them too slow, they both can do a lot of damage to you, and allowing abilities to not have synergy, such as the rain cloud and bomb, or mushroom and balloons, can give you an incentive to maybe wait before drawing one. But that could also give the enemy the room to go on the offensive. For a flash game, it's very fun, and I would totally play more if I could play with others and not just an AI. But maybe they realize people may think that. After the month of April, the Flash game was shut down. It makes sense why nobody knows about this game. Not only was it some weird game that was barely advertised and was put on some unknown site, but it was only up for a month. For years after this, there was no sign of it returning. Except in 2010, a website made by Tons of Bits was up, showing off Chick Chick Boom, but it was totally different. Different art styles, some bubbly music in the back. It was even being released on the Wiiware. The website itself is pretty neat, but I'll get to that later. Right now, we gotta talk about Chick Chick Boom 2010. Chick Chick Boom for the Wii, or Chick Chick Boom 2010, is basically a whole overhaul of the game. Some things are the same, but there's a whole lot of differences. Quite a lot of people, including myself, played this as a demo. And to be honest, the demo gave you a lot to work with. You were forced to play this tutorial, which is basically like the first few levels of the Flash game, but it introduces a few new mechanics. They found a few ways to incorporate the Wiimote movement into the game, so now you can draw lines on the board. This changes the game up more than you can imagine. If the Flash game is checkers, the Wii game is 3D chess. Against Light Yagami. With one hand. In hell. It can be used as both an offensive and defensive tool, letting you block hazards and block the other side's lines so you can get more use out of your tools. But there's a limited amount of ink, so you have to use your ink wisely. You can fully outplay an opponent with lines, it's messed up. And there's new hazards to spawn, such as my favorite, the plant. It's almost like the toadstool with how you use it, which isn't in the game anymore, spoiler by the way. But I'd say it's better. Give it like an A or something. It's definitely the easiest to be countered because you can draw a line through it the second it spawns, but it can do some serious damage if not dealt with fast. They realized maybe drawing the hazard yourself might be a little too hard on the Wii, so now you have to connect the dots, and if you draw them fast enough, you have a chance to upgrade your attack. I was playing with delay and a small little screen, so I messed up quite a bit, but luckily there's a video showing off a few upgrades. I'm too lazy to read them, so here's a little showcase of a few if you're interested. Next hazard is the UFO, and this one is probably the best in the game, bar none. It takes inspiration from the balloon where it selects one lucky contestant to be probed or whatever. I'm just realizing, why is there aliens taking these little chickens to space? To my knowledge, they haven't done anything wrong, but whatever. You get 2 to 3 chances to save the chicken, and if you mess up even a little, they're gone. And there's an interesting way attacking works in this game. Unlike the Flash game where you can send out as many attacks as you desire, you and the enemy take turns attacking, and can only do one move at a time. Unless there's an event going on, which both players can do regardless of it being their turn or not. Whoever draws it first gets to use the event, including any other hazard if it's their turn. Guess what move is an event? After beating the tutorial, you have much more to do compared to the Flash game. The Pro mode still exists, there's also a time mode and 2 new worlds to play in, which both change the event, making it a squid and a ghost respectively. There's also achievements that I might do someday. There's 2 items to help you live a little bit longer now. Corncob Man and Pinata. They're like the Goku and Vegeta of this game, the Gon and Killua, the Naruto and Sasuke. I'm not saying they're gay for each other, I'm saying they're the goats. Corncob Man gives you kernels when you shoot him, and they give a little bit of health. Pinata comes down from the skies after enough damage from either side has been taken. Either side can shoot him, and whichever side he lands on gets some buff to the chick, like a nurse that heals, or a blue helmet that makes chicks actively move away from the hazard, or debuffs to you, like making your outlines spin or shake. The differences between these 2 games is so small yet so big to me. Keeping the premise of the game but changing around a few things like how abilities work and introducing the ink mechanic makes for an interesting game that could either end in a few seconds or take like 5 minutes. It's extremely fun to play with friends too, and the new mechanics and stages make it way more in depth than the first. The game's fun, but it will probably forever be lost to obscurity because of how it was handled. I mean, the game is made by a small company, with the first game released for only a month on a system that had nothing to do with Nintendo, to come back on Wiiware suddenly with little to no marketing, and no official sponsor by Nintendo this time to add insult to injury. Well, that's basically all there is to talk about the games in itself. But I do want to check. The website kind of just shows off the game. I don't know how you're supposed to find this, because even though there was a commercial for it, I'm not sure where it was aired. On here, you can play the original Flash game, or see what was going to be added to the second, either showing reviews, merch, and links to their social media. Unfortunately, just about every link sends me nowhere, but I was interested to look up how the actual site looks right now, and surprisingly, it's still up. It showed off some other game as well, called Mission in Snow Driftland, which is some neat looking platform that they want you to play like an advent calendar. Maybe I'll see if it's good or not someday. I wish there was more to research, such as the creators of the game, whoever the poster bunny is, or the other developers of the game Extra Toxic, which may have helped in the making of Tons of Bits' website. Extra Toxic has their own website showing off the games they work with, and originally I thought, dang, they helped make Donkey Kong, Paper Mario, and even Garden Warfare? But it looks more like they just help with localization of websites, which is kind of interesting in its own way. I had no clue Garden Warfare had its own website, but that totally makes sense. But alas, that's really all there is to talk about. I really think Chick Chick Boom could have been a pretty successful game. It's very unique, and it's pretty hard to get aboard the game. Every match feels a bit different than the last, and every match feels winnable with the forms of offense and defense you have. Maybe someday there will be more of this series, but I really doubt it. Thanks for watching.